Hello, good morning. This is Pastor Julie on the fourth and last week of Extravagant Generosity. Today our theme is to talk about generosity. Who taught you to be generous? How did you learn to be generous? And how are we passing the torch of generosity? Let's listen to our friends and neighbors.
Well, the generosity in my life, I would say there again, stems from my family. One thing I remember really strong is my parents would give as much as they could. I remember the widow's mite is very important, so it's not a lot about how much you give. Everyone just gives what they feel that God is leading them to give and what they can, what they can do.
My giving for this church is I have a talent for painting. I've done painting for 30 years. Unfortunately, I had some issues, health issues, ended up not being able to paint anymore on a regular basis, and the church has given me that. Another person in this church, Sam Harding, has really taken me under his wing and let me take care of some property of his, and I can't thank this church or him enough for giving me that.
Well, there's so many ways to be a giving steward in the church, and one thing that's always stood out to me is the mission program, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart. I love the programs that we support. I love how we have a close relationship with UMCOR, and then that has developed too with the Iowa-Nigeria partnership, and being able to work with Beverly Nolte and to do projects like Hannah's project when she sewed dresses and got to send to Nigeria. And then also that relationship too with John Pena, and knowing that those dresses got to people that could appreciate them and really use them. You know, that's not an opportunity that you get to see all the time with your mission giving, is the results, the end product as well. So.
Well, I would like to just say that I have always been surrounded by generous people throughout my life, and my parents set a good example, and being married to Jim, I see every day someone who is willing to give so generously of his time and resources to help other people. And also I see around our church so many people who give so generously of their time and talents to help others. So I guess back when we had our building renovation in the 1990s, we needed to take a serious look at our giving, and it seemed like we were kind of in the pattern of giving what was left over. But when we made our pledge for the building renovation, we realized that we couldn't do that. In order to make our pledge, we were going to need to give first what we had pledged to give. And that worked very well, and we learned that God was faithful, and He was, our needs were always met. And so we decided there was no reason to stop doing that, to just keep going and giving to God first.
I show my love of God through teaching an adult Sunday school class here at church, which is way outside my comfort zone. I prefer teaching children, not grown-ups, and that is how I show my love of God in this church.
I believe in giving of self, and I believe that's what God wants.
Well, as I've said, this is a great community of people. The church is a great community of people, and I think that's what probably inspires my giving more than anything. Being able to help where I can, care for others, and give to the church to the extent that I can.
I experienced so much generosity in the Methodist Church all over. I've lived in California and Georgia, and every place I hooked up with the Methodist Church.
You know, my giving and our family's giving to the church changed about a year ago, and it was when I decided to do the automatic deposit. It was always a priority for me to be here on Sundays and giving, but there was weeks when I couldn't be here. And I wasn't good about coming up and bringing my check here. And being able to make that a priority in our budget and having that be something that happens automatically every month has been a blessing to me. And I do it because it's important. And one of the things that we had here at church was a Dave Ramsey class, and it talks about making giving to you, God, a priority, and it should be your first. And I started doing that about a year ago, and I didn't get that feeling of, oh, there's a statement that shows how much I gave or forgot to give. So it just has been so nice for our family to have that done automatically. The other thing is, I wish I could give more. And at this point in our life and in our budget, we're doing what we can. So what I do to make up for that is I give my time. I'm here a lot more than maybe what I'm paid for as staff, but I do it because I want to. And I'm doing it because I want to be doing this for God and for the kids and the families that come here. So financially, am I giving everything I want? Not yet. I'll get there, but for now, I'll do what I can with my time.
When we did the building renovation, it was a challenge. And the talks that we had, and people gave up just little things, but it was amazing how the little things added up to such big money. And it was not equal gifts, but equal sacrifice.
I guess I give because I like to, this has been my church since forever. I mean, I was born in this church. I like to see this church doing well. I like to see it be a welcoming place. We get bombarded with so many things. I mean, every day you go to the mailbox, every time you pick up the phone, somebody's asking for something, and you certainly have to prioritize. Hopefully, the church is one of those priorities. I mean, when you think about something that's with you your whole life, from baptism to death, through marriage and all that, the church is always there. So naturally it should have a high priority.
God's provision is dependable and generous. And so at the end of this extravagant generosity, I hope you've been thinking a lot about what you love about the church and all the people who've blessed you spiritually and our vision for the future. It really is time that we pass the torch and keep the fire burning in the hearts and minds of our members and guests. And it really is time to think about how we can expand our reach of love. May God bless you with extravagant generosity.